opportunity to have chats later on after this. Well, I'm not everybody to sleep. I've done my best. Not to. Okay, so it's great to have such a crowd here and to talk about development education today. Education should not attempt to shelter our nation's children from even the harsher controversies of adult life, but should prepare them to deal with such controversies knowledgeably, sensibly, tolerantly and morally. Educators should adopt strategies that teach or educate how to recognise bias, how to evaluate evidence put before them, and how to look for alternative interpretations, viewpoints and sources of evidence, and above all, to give good reasons for everything they say and do, and to expect good reasons to be given by others. We live in a time of Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Skype and Snapchat. We live in a time of great upheaval and even revolution with regard to education and to our interactions with others, on and offline, within our own communities and with those whom we have never met, but with whom we've played online games, participated in a Google Hangout, or whom we've signed an online petition for. More than ever before, we live the global everyday. We live development education every day. Our young people live the global every day. And it is for this reason that we must now, collectively, revisit what we have done, review where we are at, and set the path for where we want to go. Today in this symposium, you will hear from wonderfully passionate people who have years of expertise and insight into development education. They will share their thoughts, ideas, frustrations and dreams. You've come to the correct place, and I look forward to the journey with everyone here today. So to anchor today, I want to first look at what development education is about. Development education in youth work aims to support young people to increase their awareness and understanding of the interdependent and unequal world in which we live through a process of interactive learning, debate, action and reflection. It's about challenging perceptions of the world and encouraging young people to act for a more just and equal society at a local, national and international level. For the National Youth Council of Ireland and its Development Education Advisory Group, and indeed for the entire youth sector, quality development education is key. And quality development education shares many of the same principles as good youth work. These include starting with and valuing young people's own views, learning through participation, promoting equality, responsibility and mutual respect. For over 30 years, the youth sector has been involved in global justice, human rights and development education activities and action. Indeed, the youth sector in Ireland has been a leading light of good practice and an influence on other youth and development education practitioners undertaking similar work throughout the world. But times change, and we must, as a youth and development education sector, continue to evolve and move to meet the needs of the young people that we work with. Generation Y, those born between 1980 and 2000, are the first generation to grow up in a society of eco-consciousness. They have also grown up with the internet and are the first working age generation to be considered digitally native. They appreciate the link between the local and global more than any generation. They are globalised youth. When we talk about globalisation, we think about 5 specific aspects, or according to Dr. Mamadou Salou, in his latest book, the 5 bases of globalisation. These are economic, environment, culture, technology and politics. On a daily basis, young people are influenced by these 5 bases of globalisation, where directly or indirectly, economics, environment, culture, technology and politics influences young people's actions at a personal, local, national and global level. And Mamadou calls these the plings, and you can see here, these are the plings. So according to Mamadou, development education and global youth work is concerned firstly with how globalisation impacts on young people's lives. With increasing interconnectedness on focus on how globalisation impacts the earth and its people economically, environmentally, culturally, politically and technologically, development education is concerned with making personal, local, national and global links between young people's lives and different dimensions of their lives. The food that they eat, the clothes that they wear, the air that they breathe, the gadgets that they use, the political systems in which they live. And young people must be supported to understand their existence within all of this interconnectedness. Development education and global youth work, secondly, is based on principles of non-formal education and youth work, equalising the power imbalance between young people and practitioner. It is mostly voluntary engagement of young people, using non-formal approaches to work with young people, and a focus on developing critical literacy with negotiation with young people. Development education and global youth work, thirdly, is located in young people's realities, unpacking what might look like complex interactions between the personal, the local, the national and global, to bring about change no matter how small. It must always start where the young people are at and their own realities. Fourthly, development education and global youth work challenges oppression and promotes social justice. This in a world where over 80% of the resources are consumed by 20% of the world's people. It's about challenging the truth. And finally, development education and global youth work promotes consciousness and action. Youth work and development education promotes young people to think outside the box, outside what they see, and know to ask the everyday questions. The National Youth Council of Ireland's Development Education Advisory Group is made up of youth and development education organisations and sets out to support the programme of work which involves capacity building for the youth sector, engaging with Europe and the wider world, promoting good practice and developing standards and advocacy. In 2014, NYCI will build on its work to address the deeper integration of development education into the youth sector. The problem of limited integration means that young people have limited opportunities to access quality education, and we want to do something about this. Through One Word Week, which is held in the third week of November each year, youth organisations and young people become involved in training, planning and implementation of development education initiatives in their youth work settings. NYCI will continue to work with youth and development education sectors to broaden the engagement in One Word Week. NYCI's accredited and tailored training programme provides youth workers and volunteers with access to best practice materials, supports improved knowledge and skills, enhances confidence to act, design and deliver quality development education programmes and initiatives with young people. Youth workers and volunteers need access to this professional training routes. In addition, through the engagement with Bare Feet Theatre Group from Zambia later in 2014, youth organisations, youth workers, young people and potentially you will get the opportunity to see Zambian youth work in action and have the opportunity to engage with development issues and practice. A model for a whole organisation approach is being explored with questions of how best to assist development education to become more sustainable in the youth work sector, and this is a big challenge. Some early stage work has been undertaken, bearing in mind that organisations vary in size, capacity and interest. The National Youth Council Development Education Advisory Committee are working with organisations new to development education to deepen their involvement and assist their development education commitment. NYCI believes that a new development education and youth strategy is required to support development education in becoming more sustainable within the youth sector in Ireland, and work is underway to progress this for 2014. It's an exciting time for youth policy development in Ireland, given the proposed publication of the new National Policy Framework for Children and Young People 0 to 25 years. And this is going to be rolled out in 2014. And this is a whole of government approach involving all government departments, focusing on children and young people. So we're working to ensure that development education has its place in the new strategy, particularly under the theme of connected, respected and contributing. In conclusion, For those new to development education, engaging with the issues takes time and reflection to put learning into practice. There are many resources, educational materials, advisors, trainers and educators ready to support youth organisations to deepen their development education output. Educators, youth workers and you have an important role in promoting skills, enabling young people to critically and actively engage in the development and global issues of our time. There is a wonderful and empowering opportunity being offered to you here. And now to get more involved, even on a pilot basis, or at a regional or local level. We can assist you to develop a plan of action that will work for you. For Robert Chambers, education is about empowering people. And this too is the case with development education. We are not teachers or transferers of technology, but instead conveners, catalysts and facilitators. We have to unlearn and to put our knowledge, ideas and categories in second place. Our role is to enable others to do their own appraisal, analysis, presentations, planning and action, to own the outcome and to teach us sharing their knowledge. We hand over the stick and facilitate their mapping, diagramming, listing, sorting, sequencing, counting, estimating, scoring, ranking, linking, analysing, planning, monitoring and evaluating. So NYCI look forward to working with you in 2014. I'm just going to race through all these. Working in 2014 and beyond.